Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? It's later tonight than usual. It is 1:01 a.m. and I got up about 35 minutes ago from a little nap that I took. A little couple hour nap. I fell asleep about, I think it was about 10 o'clock I fell asleep. Boo Radley came upstairs and took a nap with me. I had such a fantastic nap. I mean, why is it that my defrost in my car just does not ever work? I completely crashed out, and I'm gonna turn the air off and see if that works. I already started pouring my Diet Coke. I didn't sleep in today as late as I've been sleeping in, because, you know, I've been sleeping in so late in the day. And I didn't today. I got up at about 11:20 or 11:30 because I had this, like, recovery commitment thing that I had to do. So I think that's why I was tired this evening and I wanted to take a nap. But I had such a nice nap tonight. I, like, woke up at one point because Alex was, like, coming in from the patio cleaning stuff up. And I was just like, oh, I'm so comfy. And Boo Radley was up there on the end of the bed. So, my day. So yeah, I got up today. Well, what time did I stay? I stayed up last night till about, I've been trying to go to bed earlier. I know you guys are gonna be like, well, that's not early. I mean, it's earlier for me. I went to bed last night. I think it was like 3:30, something like that. I watched an episode, or maybe 2 episodes, the 4th and 5th episode of I'll Be Gone in the Dark on HBO, about Michelle McNamara and the Golden State Killer. So fantastic, so well done. I have the 6th and final episode, and I'm going to watch it tonight. And I think it's going to be mostly about Joseph D'Angelo, who is the Golden State Killer. I started it, the 5th I mean, I literally just started it before the intro comes on. And this woman that he was engaged to, who, I think it's her. They don't say it's her, but I'm almost positive it's her. When he would, like, kill people, he would say, or like when he would, like when he was the East Area rapist, he would say, I hate you, Bonnie, I hate you, Bonnie. And I think it's this Bonnie woman who they're interviewing in this hotel room. And I think that's how it's going to start. And then they're going to talk a little bit about him and, like, what's happened since the arrest. Because the 4th episode ends with them, like, arresting him and finding him. On the heels of, like, just, like, the book release and all of that kind of stuff. Which is interesting because I can remember. So we actually read it for the book club. And I had gotten it as a Book of the Month club choice. I think that was back in the day when I was, like, a member of Book of the Month. And I can remember when it came out, and it was, like, such a huge deal when it first came out. And then, like, by the time that we read it in the book club, which was 2 to 4 weeks later, they had caught him. And so it was literally from the time that it was released, like a month later, like, and we had, you know, and which is also, interestingly enough, around the same time that Mel started helping me with the book club, because she reached out to me about the same time. It was one of the very first books that we read for the book club. If I'm remembering correctly. And that was before it was a true crime book club. Like, that was, like, the first year that I was just reading all kinds of pop culture stuff. God, it seems like so long ago. So anyway, I stayed up last night till, like, 3:30. Or it was, like, 3:30, and I watched that, and then I went to bed. And actually, when I went to sleep last night, I was like, I don't think I'm very tired, and I fell asleep really quick. So then I got up this morning. I got up at like 11:20 or 11:30. I had this recovery commitment that I really wanted to try and see that I could, if I could make it 2 and 3. I knew if I could get there and I got inside, I would be fine. But I was just like, I don't know that I can make it from, like, the car to inside, you know? And I'm not great at asking for help. Like, that's, like, one of the things I'm learning through this, is that I need to ask people for help. Like, there's not a lot that people can do. Like, it's not comfortable for me to hold on to somebody. And the other thing is, like when I've done that with Alex, like, I try to walk fast. So, I got up and shaved a little bit around here to clean up my face and washed my face, and I brushed my teeth, and it was so painful standing at the counter in the bathroom, like the bathroom, you know, countertop. It was so painful this morning. Getting up is definitely the worst part. Like, I wake up and I'm just like, I don't feel good. Like, I just, my leg is like really, really throbbing and sore then. And it's like, I will say more though, like at first, like it was my like shin that really, really was like radiating pain. And the last couple days, it's just been a specific spot, like at the top of my butt. And I guess that's where the nerve is. So, went downstairs, I got dressed for the day, went downstairs and took the dogs out. They're very good little boys. Just, they did their business and then they came back inside, thank God. And they've been very good lately. I think they can sense that I don't feel well, you know. So anyway, so brought them inside and put them in their house. I've uploaded my vlog. I had that vlog all done and everything last night because I've been doing it earlier. And so I did a Peterisms video because I had enough time before I left. So I did a Peterisms video, filmed that, started getting that up, got my stuff together, all my bag and everything like that. I had like this huge backpack with this smaller thing in it. I had the fanny pack in my huge backpack. I was like making sure I had everything I needed with my camera and everything. So, got all that done and then I left, put them in their house and then I left. And, that was I probably left at about 12:40. And when I walked out to my car, my leg was like still hurting. Like it was hard for me to walk out to my car. And then, I went to my recovery commitment thing. Didn't think I'd be able to make it inside. When I got there, I was like, okay, this is farther than I thought it was. And I was like, I don't know that I can do this, but I got inside. And did that. Once I was in the chair, I was fine. Did that. And then left. And when I left, I took a different way out than I had come in. And so I had to take these stairs. And I thought it wouldn't be that hard, but like when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I was like, okay, that was a lot. And then I was like, it took everything I had to get to my car. And I was like, I got inside my car and I was like, oh my God, I'm hurting so bad. Like this is really, really bad. And then I went and I did a review. I got coffee at Starbucks and I did a Starbucks review for my review channel. And then I did a booktube video. And then I went to my post office. I got a few things at my post office today. One of which was from this place called Lyric Lip Gloss. And look, it's like a microphone. How cute is that? It didn't say who it's from, so I don't know who sent this to me. So let me know. And then you open it like that and it's lip gloss. How cute is that? It's called Lyric Lip Gloss and it's out of Atlanta, Georgia. Is that not so adorable? I love it. But like after I got back from like I went to the post office, I noticed like when I got out of the car at the post office, I was like, oh, my leg is feeling a lot better. And when I like got back in my car, I was sitting in my car for a second. Alex like had called me because he was getting ready to come home. And at that point, like Alex had these plans tonight that like this whole thing that we were supposed to do We were supposed to go to this thing tonight that was like in this parking lot, but it started at different times. I don't know. I was not planning on going anymore because of my leg. And it ended up being that it was going to be like Alex and his friend Sarah and another one of their friends, his friend Amy, and her boyfriend. So, and then this other person, her husband had to stay at home with the kids. So she was going to go because they decided they were just going to do dinner downtown. But Alex said that like they all couldn't end up, like they couldn't end up doing it, like for different reasons. So he was like, but Sarah still wants to do something. So she had mentioned maybe, since you probably don't want to go anywhere, that we could get carry out and we could have it on the back patio at our house. How would you feel about that? And I was like, sure, let's do that. That would be fun. So I said, I'm, gonna go home and I'm gonna get like, I have a video that I want to do and some other stuff, because I had done like this Q&A kind of thing on Twitter. So anyway, I was pulling out of the post office and like I turned on some music and I just like, my leg felt so much better. I don't even know how to explain it. It was like, literally my leg just felt like so much better. It was like, and I mean, that was like, I had been walking on it, and I don't know if maybe it's because it takes me a while to kind of like walk on it and stuff, but I had gotten up at like 11:30, and at that point, 11:20, 11:30, at that point, it was probably 4:30. So we're talking 5 hours later of me walking around on my leg, and it felt like a lot, 100% better. Not 100% better, but like I could walk. You guys, I think maybe people don't even understand unless you see me, but like until like 2 days ago, I couldn't even walk 2 feet without having to sit down, and I was like, oh, like I was in so much excruciating pain. I get home, and like I'm walking, like my leg is kind of like dragging behind me, and I'm very aware of my leg, and like kind of like I walk like kind of like this right now. I mean, I'm not gonna be on roller skates anytime soon, but I'm walking, and even though it's painful, like I'm able to walk, and I'm able to walk for like 10 to 20 minutes, or stand for 10 to 20 minutes without having to sit down. So I'm actually able to kind of function now. Thank God, I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then the rest of the evening, all night long, I felt the same way. I was like, oh my God, I can stand up, I can walk around. It's still really, really sore, and I can feel the pinched area in my butt, but it's like, I can actually function as a real human being, I'm so incredibly grateful for that. So, actually, somebody said on my vlog the other day, they said maybe, I can't remember how they said it, but they said something about, like, I hope that this will, or maybe you can look at being grateful that you're not in, like, the same situation as people that have it a lot worse than you. That is definitely, and I even said it, actually, and I was like, did they not listen to the whole vlog? Because I actually said that in the vlog. That has been absolutely one of the top things that has come with this, is that and I said this in my other video today on my Peter Monn channel, which is always so weird to say, but, like, I feel like I truly have, like, I feel like I was kind of shown behind the door a little bit of what chronic pain feels like, but not even slightly, because I just had it for, like, so far, I don't know, it could get worse again, but I've only had it for a couple days. Like, to know that there are people out there that have lived with it for years and years and years with no end in sight, and they don't know what's going on, and they feel hopeless, and they feel lost, and things like that. And I've had very, very close friends of mine. I mean, it's interesting because I got a lot of people that said stuff about lupus. I've had a few friends of mine that had lupus. I've had a lot of friends of mine that have had, chronic pain issues, and we're able to stay hopeful and not hopeless. And I think, like, I don't know, it's made me extremely, extremely grateful for the condition of my life and my physical health. It's made me extremely grateful. But we're not back to normal yet. I've been trying to get this MRI changed, and I actually got I have to go through all these different scheduling centers to do it. It's like you call this one office, and then the office sends you to the scheduling center, who sends you to someplace else. It's like all this craziness. So anyway, I'm gonna go back around the other way and come back. So I called today to get my MRI, see if I could get it changed to the beginning of the week. And the reason that they can't get me an earlier one is because, like, the woman the first time didn't tell me this. She was just like, she said, oh, it's because of this, and it's because of that, and it was all these different reasons, but she didn't say this. But the woman today was very nice, and she was like, the reason we can't get you in any earlier is because you're wanting to do an open MRI. Now, I get real panicky in closed spaces, so that's why I wanted, they originally suggested I did a conscious sedation, but I was like, I don't want to do that. Like, that freaks me out. I don't want to be sedated unless absolutely necessary. Like, that completely freaks me out. So, do you know what, somebody left a comment on my video today? They left this on my BookTube channel. I thought this was interesting. I mean, obviously just a mean troll, but I was thinking about, the reason I thought about this comment was because, you know, back in the day when I was using, I would have loved conscious sedation. I would have been like, yes, unconscious, conscious, whatever, sedate me, you know? But like today, I love the idea of being in awake, aware control, that I don't like to be out of that. And that terrifies me, to be like on something that would take me out of awareness. I don't like that. Somebody commented on my BookTube channel and said, and it was like on an older video too, so I don't know how they found it, but anyway, they said, I must have been talking about my addiction and recovery in there, because they said, the old you who used sounded more interesting and more interesting and less boring, and you should go back to him, or something like that. I was like, who would wish that on somebody? But anyway, I take those comments with a grain of salt, because, you know, many times they're written by 12-year-olds. But so yeah, but so she was really nice, and she was like, the reason that we can't get you in earlier for the MRI is because there's only one center through us that does an open MRI. We only have one bed at this place. There's one open MRI bed at this place, and it's always booked up. And I was like, well, can I get on like a cancellation list, because my sponsor had suggested that. And she was like, well, we don't do cancellation lists right now because of the COVID. She was like, but you can call every morning and see if somebody canceled, and then if they did, then you can come in that day and we can get you down that day. But she was like, we're not doing a cancellation list because I don't know, I didn't understand it. I mean, I know that there's all these rules around like medical places and the COVID, so I'm not trying to question all of that. I mean, I'm sure it makes their life difficult anyway. I mean, they don't need me questioning all of that. And then, to get my blood work scheduled, I have to go online to schedule it, and I was like at this recovery thing when it was like at the end of it. I called there and was trying to set up that appointment, and then it said, you must set this appointment up online. And I was like, ugh. So I was like, I'll do that when I get home, and then I totally, completely forgot. So I have to set that up tomorrow. But I think I can, that'll probably be easy to do, because it's like 15 minutes, if even that, just to take some blood and do. It's so funny, you guys, because I said, it was actually my friend Stephanie that commented on this too, on here. I said that I had to get a UDS, a urine drug screen is what I said. And there were like several people, there was like 4 or 5 people that were like, it's not a urine drug screen, it's a urinalysis. Like, and I totally should have known that. Like but I mean, since I worked in the field for so long, you know, like, you know, in treatment and with court systems and stuff, I mean, that's what urine drug screens are. That's why I said that. I don't know why else. Because people were like, why would you need to get a urine drug screen for what's going on? I wouldn't. I'm getting a urinalysis. It's actually called a something panel. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway. I mean, they're all called panels, I think, like that. Like we would do certain, like, we would drug screen for certain panels. You know, it's really interesting because people think that, you know, you can't drug test for certain things. And like when I was like working in treatment, there was like this myth that, you know, you like can only like drug test, like you have to do a spinal tap to drug test for LSD or hallucinogens. It's totally not true. You can test for hallucinogens in urine. You can test for anything in urine. And but you just have to specifically test for that, and then like the test is more expensive. Like when people would huff and stuff like that, you can test for inhalants in urine. You can test urine for inhalants, specific inhalants. Like if you do a certain panel, and it'll tell you exactly what they inhaled. So it'll come back and tell you like the properties of like certain labs will. You have to pay a lot for them, but they'll come back and tell you specifically that you tested for like Glade or a computer duster or something like that. And then people always would request like, well, courts would request a lot, like blood tests, which, you know, blood tests, like they're pretty much like in and out of your system within a short period of time. A lot of things, you know, there's a lot of things, and I'm not going to educate people on that, because if you want to find out, go Google it. I'm not going to help somebody get past the drug screen. But I mean, it's just real common, like what things are out of your system and how quick they are and things like that. I mean, I think that's one of the first things I ever learned, you know. So it's like, it's interesting, like when somebody will say something to you and they'll say, well, it would have been out of my system by now. And I'm like, well, I don't know about that, you know. It also has to do with body weight and fat. No, well, not body weight, but it has to do with your fat, and how like you hold certain things. Like marijuana can stay in like the same person's, like can stay in one person's system for, let's say, 5 days, and the other person could stay in their system for 30 days. And it also has to do with how chronically you smoke and things like that, you know, so testing positive for cannabis. But anyway, hair follicle tests are real interesting. Like I remember like a couple people having to go and we didn't test for those. We didn't do hair follicle tests. You had to go to specific places that would do that, and they're very expensive. And from what I remember, that may have changed. But like they legit like go back like so many months or something. Like it's crazy. I did this thing today where I did this video where I answered questions from Twitter, and then I asked like for unpopular opinions just about whatever, like about YouTubers or about pop culture or whatever. It's interesting, like the unpopular opinions I got. You know, like other people that do these, they get like unpopular opinions and they're always about like YouTubers. Like mine were like all over the place. They were about like all kinds of different stuff, you know? And it was interesting because one of the things that somebody said was that making YouTube, or that YouTube is not a real job. And I thought about that, you know, and I think like so many people get so offended when somebody says, I mean, you make YouTube videos, it's not a real job, right? And I'm like, I mean, I've seen so many people just get so bent out of shape about that. Like, they're so offended, right? And, you know, YouTube is my full-time job now. And, but you know what? Let me scratch how I said that. I don't know that YouTube's my full-time job. YouTube is my, source of income, you know? My main one. I mean, I have other things that I do, but I enjoy it, you know? And I thought, like, what does define what a job is? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you have to go clock in like 8 to 5 for it to be a job? You know, do you have to, like, does it have to have health insurance? Because a lot of jobs don't have health insurance. Like, what defines a job? I thought it was actually a really kind of a good question, you know? Like, I'm not offended by that question when people say that to me. I'm like, well, I get paid to do something that I love to do, you know? Like, I feel that this is a blessing, and I love it, and I'll do it till I can't do it anymore, you know? Because I love it so much. So I don't know, like, I think it's an interesting question when people say that, like, it's not a real job. But you know what's funny is, like, when I first started on YouTube, I would say about people, like, why don't you go get a real job? I would say that about YouTubers. And now I look at that and I'm like, oh my God, well, that slaps me in the face, doesn't it? You know what I mean? But I totally get that attitude. Like, I really, really do, you know? I think the thing is it's like, when you hear about like some of these YouTubers that literally, like, they might post, I think this is kind of like, for me, why I'm just like, I don't know, like, you know, it is, do your thing, but when there's like these people that like post like one video every 2 weeks and they make like $1 million a year, you know, off of sponsorships and stuff, and I'm like, do you realize like what a blessing was handed to you? I mean, you get to spend the rest of your time like doing whatever you absolutely love to do. Oh, by the way, I have been like really, really working hard the last couple days on writing. That's one of the things I've been doing. I've been like, not like just writing like, you know, notes or anything, but that too. But I have been working on my next piece. I go back and forth with all these different things, so I don't know. I don't want to say a whole lot about it because, you know, if I do, then it'll never happen. But I got very excited about an idea that I had. But what do we think a real job is? You know what I mean? And like, this is the other thing. I don't know that, like, I'm trying to think of other things that I know that people do where, you know, like, Alex is so interesting about it because, like, you know, like, Instagrammers, you guys have any idea what Instagrammers make? I know girls in Indianapolis, women in Indianapolis that are married and have kids, but they're like in their early 30s. And they have those fashion blogs, you know, and they'll have like 500,000, 250,000 to 500,000 followers on Instagram. And they do those pictures like every single day where it's like outfit of the day, and then they like put like, it's like that, like, you know it. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Where it like links to it and then you can buy whatever they have on in that like to know it or whatever it's called. So I've heard rumors, will not even post a picture for less than $5,000 to $10,000, okay? So let's say they're posting pictures every day. So you're talking 7 pictures a week, sometimes twice a day, okay? So minimum, okay, they're making, it stopped. Minimum, they're making $35,000 a week, okay? You know, maximum, they're making, so they're making, you know, anywhere, they're making ridiculous amount of money, okay? $1.5 million a year, something like that, $1 million a year for posting pictures on Instagram. There is a lot of money on Instagram. But like, I wouldn't, like, if anybody like did, I wouldn't be jealous of them. I'd be like, that is really cool that you are able to do something that you love, pay your bills, travel the world, spend time with your family, do the things that you love, and make money from something that you absolutely are passionate about doing and that you love to do. Like, that's why I never understand that criticism of it's not a real job. Like, I feel like the people that say that it's not a real job are the ones that are bitter and jealous of it. And what I say to those people that say it's not a real job is, pursue your passions, you know? Like, you only have one life. Do something that you love. Absolutely go out there and do something that you love, you know? You know, for me, it's kind of weird. It's different. Like, I think to the younger generation, I think a lot of people are like they get on YouTube with the idea, or they get on Instagram with the idea that that's gonna be their job. You know, like, they want to be a YouTuber, or they want to be a TikTok star, or they want to be Instagram, or, and I would love to have if I lost a lot of weight, and I'm not BSing about this, I'm really not. If I lost a lot of weight because I love fashion, I would love to have a fashion Instagram where I was going to like runway shows, and, you know, like, we don't have a lot of older male models. I would love to do that, you know? That's kind of like a pipe dream in the back of my head kind of thing for me. I know it's corny, but I would love to do that, you know? We'll see. It's never too late, you know? But I think that, like, a lot of the younger generation, like, they're like, I want to start a YouTube channel because I want that to be my job and pay my bills. Like, that was never it for me when I got on YouTube. Like, I never thought that. You know, like, I mean, first of all, I started on BookTube. I mean, and got, honestly, like, a month on BookTube, like, a good month for me now, like, if I post every single day, I might make, what's the highest I've probably made on BookTube? Maybe, like, 120. Would be like a really good month. And another month, like this month, I posted today for the first time, I'll probably make like $30. So it'll just float over to the next month, you know? Like, so like, I started over, I mean, I never thought, like, you know, so the idea that, you know, once people are watching your videos and things like that, and then you have brands that reach out to you and that are asking you, like, hey, will you, like, you know, how about working with us and whatever, you know? And I have to say, like, I don't get offered a lot of money. I'm not like a good businessman when it comes to that stuff. Like, I never get offered a lot of money. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers that I'm like, I'll talk to, and they'll be like, oh, I don't ever, like, I won't do a sponsored post for less than, and they'll say to me like some ridiculous amount of money, and they don't even have that huge of a following, and they'll be like, I don't do a sponsored post for less than like $8,000. And I'm like, excuse me? And they're like, I mean, yeah, like, I won't do a sponsored post for less. You guys have no idea the amount of money that you can make off sponsored posts, first of all. They're like, yeah, like, I don't do a sponsored post between like 8 and 15. And I'm like, $8,000 to $10,000 are doing sponsored posts. $3,000 to $5,000 are doing a sponsored post for, right? I'm like, you do realize you only have to speak for 90 seconds. Oh yeah, you know, I mean, I'm worth it. I'm worth, you know, and I'm like, oh my God. For 90 seconds, that's a lot of money. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's this crazy world that I walked into. So I'm like not good at any of that kind of stuff, you know? Which is probably why I don't get approached for a lot of sponsorships, but I really don't care. The other thing is I won't do sponsorships for brands that I don't really like support or endorse. It was interesting because recently somebody reached out to me and they wanted me to do a sponsorship, and they said, now I have gotten better with the sponsorship thing. Like sometimes when like people will like I don't love the idea of like the affiliate links, because I just don't think a lot of like I'm not gonna like benefit from that, you know what I mean? Like I'll do like a code for my audience, but for me to do an affiliate link, I mean, I'm not saying I'm completely against it, but it would depend on what it was, you know what I mean? But like a lot of sponsorships want you to do like affiliate links and stuff like that. I have gotten better about like, I mean, they'll lowball you. They'll be like, oh, how about, you know, like, you know, $50 or $25 for, you know, this. And I'm like, you're getting a lot of bang for your buck for that, don't you think? But anyway, but somebody reached out to me and they said they really wanted to work with me, and they felt like my channel was like my audience would really enjoy their product. And I can't even remember what it was, but I was like, yeah, I think that my audience would really like enjoy the product too, but I haven't used it. So, I said something about like, what was your idea? I said, you know, something like that. And the woman responded to me and was like, well, why don't I send it to you and you use it? And if you like it, then we can, you know, discuss, you know, whatever. And I was like, oh, I think that's a great idea. That's what I usually do anyway. You know, I suggest to people, like, if you want to work with me, like, send it to me and let me use it. And then if I like it, then I have no problem, you know, endorsing it. And she never responded. She never sent it. I don't know what happened with that. I can't even remember what it was now. It was like a month ago. Oh well. So yeah, I don't know what defines a real job. I guess like, you know, my dad when I was growing up said to me, I don't care what you do, as long as you're contributing to the world in a positive way. So, like, every day that I get up, I guess I ask myself, am I doing one thing today with YouTube where I'm contributing in a positive way? And I like to think so. You know, my Peterisms videos have really been getting a lot more views lately. And it really makes me happy. And, like, people are like, God, I really needed to hear this today, or, you know, whatever. And, I don't know, I feel like the vlog is a really great way for people to kind of relax and just, you know, turn it on in the background when you guys are like listening to, or, you know, like making dinner, or just kind of unwinding or crocheting or whatever, you know. Hey, Mel! And, so I do feel like by making people laugh, or by making people think about their own lives, or ways that they can learn from things that I've done, or meditations that I read, you know, or if they get book suggestions because of my booktube channel, or they laugh at my review channel, you know, it makes them take their mind off of something for a way, then yes, I do believe that I've contributed positively to the world. So, okay, what is a job? A job is, you know, something that, you know, volunteer work is volunteer work. So what is a job? A job is something that you do, that you get paid for, and then by my dad's definition, that you're contributing to the world in some way, right? That doesn't have to be the case. Maybe that isn't part of your job, but for me, that would be important, right? And then I think something else for me that's important is it something, am I doing something that I can find enjoyment in, you know? But the thing about that with a job is that a lot of people have jobs that they don't find enjoyment in, but they have to pay the bills, you know? There were a lot of days that I've worked in my life that I did not love what I was doing, but I had to pay the bills. So that doesn't really go into the description of a job. So I guess a job is something that you do that you get paid for, right? So I guess I don't know how, like, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, whatever is not a real job. Who knows? But I've said it. It's come right out of these lips right here. I'm not even gonna, for 1 second, act like I've never said that before. I've said get you a real job. I have. I've said it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But I have, you know. So sometime between then and now, it became a real job for me. But you know, I don't see it that way. Like, I just don't see it that way. I don't know, you know, and I guess the other thing for me was that, like, whenever I say this in videos, I always get all the trolls coming. How did you possibly retire by your age? How did you, They know nothing about money management whatsoever. Read and listen to Dave Ramsey. That's all I have to say. Read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and read Dave Ramsey. But anyway, you know, I was, like, my goal was to be retired by, like, 45, 50. And before I even really got, like, full-time on YouTube, I was already retired. Like, to how I was semi-retired to how I want it to be, right? You know, and Alex and I have some businesses, you know, off YouTube that, and off of what he does, that, you know, pays substantial amount of our bills and things like that. So, and, you know, that's a lot of the stuff that, like, I handle, like, you know, that's like work, like when I talk about, like, oh, I had work around the house that I have to do, that's a lot of that kind of stuff that I have to do. But, like, if I look at, like, what is my job, like, that allows me, you know, to do stuff is, yeah, it's YouTube. And I feel blessed. I feel absolutely blessed. What a cool job. You know, like, that's the thing. I don't know what a real job is, except for that I've told other people they should get a real job. Now I'm saying it to Peter, you better get a real job. But, you know, like, what a cool job. What a blessing that, you know, I get to do this. It's such a cool thing. I feel so, like, I don't know. I was watching my drama video back tonight, this Q&A, and I was sitting on the back patio watching it, waiting for Sarah to get there. And I was watching myself and I thought, you know, like, I mean, I joke about myself being the old man of YouTube, but, like, let's just be for real, I'm not young, you know? And I looked at myself on camera and I thought, you lucky old man. Like, seriously, like, you know, like, you get to sit in a chair and, like, anybody even gives a rat's ass to listen to what you have to say. You know, I mean, I know I have my fair share of people that don't like me, and that's okay. There's always going to be those people that don't like you or those people that hate you, but that's fine. I can't do anything about that anyway. But I thought, you know, you are so lucky to have this amazing life and to have people that actually, like, want to hear what you have to say. And, you know, I don't know. It's such a blessing. It's so cool. And it makes me constantly think of, like, new things I can do. Like, have you guys seen these channels? They keep on popping up in my recommended, and now everybody's talking about them. These two guys that are, like, younger, and they're, like, watching, like, or they're listening to, like, Phil Collins and, like, Dolly Parton, and they're reacting to it. And I'm like, okay. Like, I'm like, Peter, you have, because I think of fun stuff to do all the time. I think of just stupid, crazy, fun stuff, right? I'm like, you could come up with a creative idea like this that other people haven't done before. Like, you just need to be like, you need to think. So I'm thinking. I watched some of their videos. Their videos are hilarious. But, I don't know. It's like, you know, like, I know I'm not an artist, but it feels artistic. It feels creative, if that makes sense. Like, I know I'm not going to sit there and fool myself and act like what I'm doing is I'm making art, because I don't believe that. Do I believe that it's a source of entertainment? Yes, to people. Do I consider myself an entertainer? No. Which is weird, because, like, for this part of, like, my taxes, like, the accountant was like, well, he was like, we need to figure out, like, what do you want to put this in? And I'm like, he was like reading off all these things to me. I'm like, no. And he was like, entertainment. I go, yeah, sure. I guess, like, you know. I don't know. I just feel like I love it, you know. And I love, like, getting the phone out and the drama phone and, like, the tambourine and the fans, and I just love it all, just, like, and thinking of, like, funny stuff to say that will make people laugh, and cheer up. And I love when I get, like, the pictures from people and they're like, oh my god, I'm watching you and you're making me so happy at the end of my, I mean, it's just you guys, and, like, on this channel, when people are like, you know, I never thought about it this way, or you sharing this story really meant so much to me. And it's just, it's such a, I have a life that I never imagined. You know, I really never could imagine this. And, you know, you guys, like, coming up in January, well, let's just start with BookTube. So May 11th was my 4-year anniversary. I have not been doing this for very long. I've been doing this for 4 years. You know, I remember I heard this interview, or maybe it was in her acceptance speech for Adele. God, she looks so great, doesn't she? She's lost so weight. I mean, she looked fantastic before too, but, like, she's lost so much weight. That inspires me to lose weight. But I remember, like, when I think it was when she won her, like, British Music Award or whatever it was, or maybe it was a Grammy, I can't remember. But she said it was exactly like a year ago that she was sitting in, like, the studio writing these songs. And she said something like, wow, like, the power of 1 year. And I can remember hearing that, and, like, it hit me so hard, you know? I was like, God, that's so true. Like, 1 year can change so much, you know? Like, so many things have happened in just a lot. I mean, you know, like, in the last year alone, so many, like, profound things have happened in my life. If you had asked me a year ago, I think the most profound thing that happened in my life last year was that we lost Pee-Pee. And had you asked me last summer, I can remember I would think to myself, I hope he makes it till Halloween. Like, that was, like, my wish. I was like, I hope the little guy makes it till Halloween. And then we made it to Halloween, and I was like, I just hope he makes it to his birthday. And he didn't, you know? But last summer, you know, like, I had no idea that was, like, our last summer with it. I mean, I kind of knew, I guess, like, I don't know. I just kind of thought he would live forever, I guess. Things can change so much in a year. Things can change so much in 5 years, you know? If you have a dream that you want to pursue in your life, start it now. You have no idea where it will take you, you know? I've always told people, like, my battery died. Since I was sitting here, since Sister Sisty Sally, since I was sitting here anyway, I thought, well, I'll just change it. I was trying to get some lip gloss out of this, and it is like, there is, like, literally nothing left of this lip gloss. I have that new lip gloss, but it has, like, a really thin little, I don't know if you can see. See, this is how cute it is, look. It's like a microphone. But it's got, like, a really little brush on it, see? But, you know, I feel blessed that I had, oh, it's got kind of, like, some tint to it. I like that. I feel blessed to have had two parents that were big believers in, you know, pursuing your dreams at any expense. And you know, I mean, I'm not, please don't anybody, you know, quit their real job to pursue their dreams. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? Me opening the windows earlier really cleared up the the windshield. Yeah, you don't have to do that. But like, you know, I've said, like, if your dream is that you want to be, you know, an actor on Broadway or an actress, you know, in movies in Hollywood and win an Oscar, I'd love just to be in a TV show. I'd love to be like just in some small role in a movie, you know, like some David Lynch movie. They use me for some just some small character, and I would love that so much. Oh my God. But my leg is starting to hurt a little bit from being in the car so long. You know, like, okay, if that's your dream, do something locally, you know? I don't know, start getting some, like, scripts. You can, like, get any script for any movie online. Did you know that? Get some scripts and start reading your favorite movie scripts and doing monologues of, like, your favorite, like, parts. And, you know, and then, like, maybe, like, audition for community theater and get involved in community theater, or, you know, like, whatever they have, like, doing musicals around, you know, town or whatever, if there's something like that that's close. But most towns have community theater, you know, and then you do that, and then, okay, so 10 years goes by and you never make it to Hollywood or New York, right? But maybe you maybe you met the best friends you ever had, while you were doing, you know, Hello Dolly in community theater. Who knows? Maybe you met the best friend that you've ever had in your entire life. Or maybe you found, you know, like, somebody that, maybe you found out that you're not interested in acting. Maybe you found out that you're interested in directing, you know? And maybe what you realized was that I don't have that strong of a dream to be that. Maybe my dream is I started gardening around the playhouse, you know, the community playhouse, and I did all the flowers and stuff, and I found out that I love gardening, you know? Who knows? But, like, you gotta put one foot in front of the other to, like, go on the journey. And I think I didn't get that for a long time. I mean, I gave away I think, like, one of the hardest things for me is this, is I don't really care about, like, feeling younger or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, I really don't care. You know, like, I was watching my video back today on my computer. Go watch any one of my videos on a computer and be, like, a foot away like I was. You can see the wrinkles down my line. You can see the wrinkles right here. You can see it right here. You know, you can see the you know, the blotchiness of my face. Like, I don't care about that. Like, that doesn't, those aren't things that I don't care if I look, you know, 20 years old. I don't care if I am, I don't even really, I want to be, like, in better shape and be thinner so I can wear some of the clothes I'd like to wear and so that my health is in better condition. But I don't really care to be in the body that I was at 20 again. I know you know, I've accepted the fact that that's probably not ever going to happen again, you know? I'd like to be in the best body of my life, but that body at 48 is never going to look like it did at 20 again. It's just not, you know? And, but that doesn't mean that I can't be in good shape at 48, you know? It just means I'm not going to look like that. And I've accepted that, and I'm okay. My hair is white, you know, I have wrinkles. I don't care. To some degree, I wouldn't give up the experiences that I've had in my life to go back to 20 or 22 anyway. I just wouldn't, right? I don't have any desire to dress like I'm 20 years old, you know, but I also dress the way that I want to. My dad, hell, you know, when my dad was 55, 60, he was wearing, you know, cut-off jean shorts and Birkenstock sandals and t-shirts from islands that he went, you know, snorkeling and stuff on and whatever, scuba diving. Did he scuba dive back then? I don't know, but, you know, but, like, he has every one of my dad's t-shirts is either from, like, you know, like the ZZ Top concert or, like, what's Bruce Springsteen he loves. Or it's, like, you know, from St. Thomas or, you know, wherever. St. Martin, all of these, you know, Caribbean islands. And that's how he dressed, you know, like when he wasn't working. I don't think that's trying to chase youth and how you dress. I think that's stylistically being comfortable in who you are. I don't have any desire to, like, try to look like, you know, what the kids are wearing at 20. I could care less about all that kind of stuff. But I think that what is frustrating to me is because of my drug use in high school, my alcohol and drug use in high school and college, or my early college years. I don't even know what that was. I hardly was even functioning when I was in college those first few years. But is that I just gave that away. I just gave my idealistic youth away, you know? Because I think that there is something that you have when you're younger, this like, okay, I started telling this story about a friend of mine, but I think I needed to cancel that story out. I don't think she would want that story being out there. But let me go back to what I was saying before, which was like, you know, I think at like 20, 22, you know, even up to 25, I think, but I think 25 in my generation and even now, like, people are settling down earlier a little bit, maybe. I think this pendulum is going back. Maybe not getting married and having kids as early, but I think people are like, you know, getting serious jobs and things like that earlier. But I think there's like this being so idealistic when you're young, you know, about like, I'm unstoppable, I can do anything, I can achieve anything. If I want an Oscar, I can win an Oscar. If I want to write a Pulitzer Prize winning novel, I can do it. If I want to be a best-selling, you know, novelist, I can do that. You know, if I want to like go, you know, if I want to treasure hunt in the ocean, I can do that. You know what I mean? I feel like when you're younger, you're so idealistic, right? But I also think that there's kind of like this idea that goes along with that, I don't know. I think until you get older, you don't see your own morbidity, maybe. You know, you don't see your own, like, I don't even know if that's the right word to use. I don't think you really understand that there's going to be a day when you realize that, you know, I kind of sometimes wonder for myself, like, when the moment happened. It'd be really easy to say that it happened around the time that my mom passed away or when she was in the hospital, but I really don't think that's it. You know, I've talked a lot about, when I asked my mom, like, you know, when my grandma died, what did it, she was like, if I feel like an orphan, you know? And she was like, for the first time I've, you know, thought about my own death and that I'm not going to be here forever. I don't really know the moment that happened to me when I thought to myself, I'm not going to be here forever. Now, in my younger years, and I think this was a huge part of my using, I had an intense fear of death. Intense, like terrifying. I could lay in bed, like not on nights that I was using, but I could just lay in bed and I could think about the end of the world, this nothingness forever and ever and ever. You know, blind faith in an afterlife is something that has always been very difficult for me, even though I do believe in it. But I could imagine that, like, when this is over, it's just nothingness forever and ever and ever. And I think that has always been a reason why I've, like, pursued psychics and mediums and believe in, you know, spirituality and things, spiritualism and things like that, because there's a difference. Spiritualism is like the study of that, mysticism, things like that, because I think to some degree I wanted proof. I know I wanted proof, you know, and, but it was after my mom passed away, but it wasn't like right after my mom passed away. You know, in the hospital room that night, I had that moment where I was like, we're born, we live, we die, and what we put in the middle of it is ours. But I would say it was slowly over the next, you know, couple years that I really realized, you're gonna die. It's gonna happen. There's nothing you can do about it. What are you gonna do about it now? And I just kind of accepted it. And with that, I kind of stopped thinking about it, you know, honestly. And I stopped thinking it so much about, because I got really hung up for a long time, even up till the first 5 years of Alex and I's relationship. I was so negative, so sour, I just so down all the time. I got really hung up on the dying instead of the living. And I thought, you cannot do this anymore, you know? You have got to live, you know? And so I guess to some degree I did start living again, with the things that I'm passionate about. And I think that's why, like with the BookTube channel, I just started it. I was just like, here, I'm gonna start it. And then, like, I can remember posting that very first drama video on September 1st. And I thought to myself, like, I don't really remember thinking, like, this is so stupid, who's gonna watch? I didn't think anybody would watch it, you know what I mean? And, but I didn't care. Like, I kind of gave that up. That's really refreshing, is when you really, like, and I do care. I do care what people think about me. I'm not one of those people that say, I don't give a F what people, no, I do. I do care what people think about me. I care what certain people think about me in my life. I care what my friends think about me. I care what my family think about me. And I do care about what some people that I don't know think about me. You know what I mean? Like, that is important to me sometimes, but not every day. I think it's BS when people say, I don't care what other people think about me. Well, let me know how you got there. But, but you know, like, I think that allowed me to just be my goofy self on YouTube and have fun with it, because I didn't have any expectations. Maybe that's what it is I really didn't have any expectations, you know? And I've always gone into YouTube with being like, okay, I just want to have fun. Like, every day that I get up, like, okay, I make a list the night before I go to bed of, like, all of my videos. I put, like, vlog, drama, Peterisms, booktube, and review. And then I put a line underneath it, and it's the things I have to do for the day. Coffee, get the crossword, vlog early. That was on there today. I didn't do that one. You know, like, finish audiobook, things like that. Go to the post office. No, but I have other things on there that I have, you know, and then I have another list for all of my things that I have to do that don't have anything to do with YouTube. But, like, you know, I sit there and I look at that, like, sometimes before I go to bed, and I just think, you just lucked into the greatest world ever. You know, you really, really did. And there's been moments that I haven't felt that way. There have been absolute moments, you know, on YouTube where I thought, like, this is tough. But I've had those moments, you know, I think, like, that's the other thing. I've had those moments in my entire life. You know, it's like, I know that I talk about my mom a lot when it comes to grief, but I feel like she's her death is a good example for, I keep on picking out the same lip gloss in here that's empty. But I feel like her passing is, like, a good example of a lot of things. Like, you know, like, when my mom died, I mean, I guess, like, when people ask me questions and they're like, well, how do you grieve? How do you do this? And, you know, I always give suggestions, and I'm like, well, make sure that you just feel it. Make sure, like, today I said, make sure that you, like, I was like, is that battery low already? It can't be. I'm always like, make sure that you just, like, walk into the emotion. You walk into the feeling, and you allow yourself to feel it, right? But I think, like, in all reality, there's no trick to grieving. I don't think there really is, you know? I think if you can get past the denial that the person's not, or the person or the pet or whatever is not coming back, you know, and it sucks. And that weirdness, that surreal feeling that you feel that you can't explain to another person until they've gone through it themselves, no matter what. You can't explain it to them. You literally, I mean, you can't explain to somebody what it's like. And then you get it and you walk through that door, and then your mom dies or you lose a pet and you're like, oh, I get it now. You know, now I understand. You know? Or you lose a friend. I remember when my friend Duke took his life, and that was really like one of my very first contemporaries that passed away. And especially, I think, because of the fact that he took his life, was so hard for me. It just seemed so surreal, like I'd just been talking to him and then he was gone. It just didn't seem real to me, you know? And I think that's like the hardest thing with death is like, it's not the grieving. I think it's the acceptance of the death. But like, when people ask me about like grieving, like one of the things I always think about is like, well, what are your other options? You know, I mean, I think like, when I asked people, and I did ask people at the time, that was very much like how people ask me about grieving. I did the same thing to others that had been through it and asked them for suggestions, you know? I think really what I was asking was, how do I make this process of pain hurry up? Like, how do I make this process of me hurting so bad inside go away quicker? And the reality is, there is no way to do that. You're gonna hurt as long as you're supposed to hurt. And then you're gonna hurt randomly every once in a while when it comes up, you know? Hell, I was in a video the other day. I may have talked about this last night. I know I talked about it in my drama video today. I was in a video and I said, I'm just a 48-year-old man living in the middle of Indiana with my husband and my 3 dogs. I didn't even think about it. Like, I literally didn't even think about it till I was watching it back. And I was like, you said 3 dogs. I say 3 dogs a lot. People ask me, oh, like, you have dogs? Yeah, we have 3 dogs. And then I'm like, we have 2 dogs. 1 passed away. I always say, you know, and it's like, it's hard, you know? But I also think that once you accept, like, this is kind of a little bit of a trick, I guess, in the world. I don't know. I feel like my dad kind of has figured this out a long time ago. Once you can kind of figure out that loss is a part of life, then you can enjoy the celebrations and the joyful moments so much more. Does that make sense? Like, if you can accept that there is going to be sorrow and there is going to be tragedy, and you can accept that, right? So you're not just blindsided by it. You're not taken down by it when it happens. You can be like, oh wow, like, okay, like, I didn't know this was gonna happen, but okay, I can, you know, I can move forward, I can go on. I think that, like, if you can accept that, you know, like, because whenever I'm going through something hard and I'll call my dad up and he'll be like, well, what's going on, Pete? And I'll, like, tell him, you know, and he's always very sympathetic, and he's always like, you know, my dad's very empathetic and sympathetic, you know, he's like, oh, Pete, I'm so sorry, you know, and, but he'll say something like, you know, like, you know, like, these things happen. You know, like, whenever I've called my dad about, like, whenever I've called my dad about losing a friend from addiction, you know, like, my dad will say to me, he'll say, Peter, I am so sorry, you know, and he'll say, you know, like, I know how much he meant to you, or I know how much she meant to you. And he'll say, but then he goes right, and he's like, but, you know, what could you do for the family? Because for me, he was like, I always thought I was going to get that call. See, Peter, he's like, I always thought I was going to get that call. And so I'm so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you're here. So take what you have and go give it to the family. You know, like, my dad always, like, he's so good with that stuff. Like, he always thinks that stuff through, you know, and I know that stuff, you know, but like in that moment, I'm just sad. I can get stuck in sadness real easy. I know people see me as like, oh, I'm so happy all the time, but that's not true. Like, I can get stuck in real sadness for a while, you know. I thought it was important. I think it's important to get stuck in sadness. It was like, today, this was such a weird moment. Like, sometimes I'll just be like, please, like, Mom, help me. Like, seriously, I do. Like, sometimes I'll just, like, look up and I'll be like, Mom, okay, help me. I don't do it typically at the casino because she didn't like gambling. I mean, she would go to the casino, but she didn't, like, she would be like, oh, she'd be like, oh my Lord, we don't praise Jesus at the casino. She would say something like that, I guess, if she was around. But anyway, I was in my car, and it like took me everything to like get out of the house to my car to go leave this morning to go this recovery thing. And I got in my car and I sat there for a second. I was like, you know, and I was just like, Mom, please help me. And I like turned on the car, and the song, The Way We Were by Barbra Streisand came on, which was one of my mom's favorite songs. And we used to watch the movie when I was growing up as a kid. I could, like, some of my earliest memories are like sleeping on the end of her bed in the summer when she had the fan on, and it was like the end would come up when, and I even read this part in my mom's eulogy where, Robert Redford like runs across the street and he says, "See ya, Katie." And she says, "See ya, Hubble." My mom's whole eulogy that I wrote for her was all about, God, I really wanted to get emotional tonight, I guess. I get so emotional, baby. My mom's whole eulogy was all about movies. I wish I could find it. I thought I had it downstairs in the basement, of course. I thought I had it in this like box that I keep everything of hers in. Like I have my mom's last, like her watch and her wallet, which is so weird to me. And her glasses, which her glasses still smell like her. Is that not so crazy? I keep all of this stuff, like her jewelry that really meant a lot to me, but like she never had expensive jewelry anyway, so it's like a beaded necklace and this bracelet she used to wear sometimes, and this pink like I got this pink ring at the store called Details in Indianapolis. It was probably like $20. She thought it was real expensive, and I can remember like it was like just on this like really cheap like ring like thing, and it broke, and she took it in there one time and she was like, my son bought this and I know he spent a lot of money on it, and the woman was like, it was like $20, and the woman was so nice, and she was like, but we can refasten it on another ring if you want it that badly. And she was like, would you? It was like, it looked like a big diamond, but it was pink. But it was really a cool ring. And because my mom loved the color pink, and so she was like, oh, would you? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. She's like, we can solder that on there. And so she did it for my mom for free. My mom was like forever indebted to that store. But anyway, I think the other thing is too, you know, like, well, when I was talking about like when you're younger, you know, like you think you have all the time in the world. And you just don't, you know? And I think when you get older, it's like a catch-22, because like when you're younger, you feel like you have all the time in the world, but when you realize that you don't, it feels like, well, I'm at the age now that I don't have any time at all. Does that make sense? Like, it's not like you figure that out along the way. I don't know. It's like one day you wake up and it's like, I'm not going to be here forever. You know what I mean? That's what I was going to say earlier. It's like, I wish I knew in the moment was that I realized you're going to die. And I was kind of okay with it. Like, I don't know how to accept, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm not ready to die. I don't want to die. I'm still afraid of dying. I still am, because I don't know what that looks like. But a lot of the fear has gone away since my mom passed away. I realize this is what I realize. I can't do anything about it. Like, and if I want to spend the next, you know, God, hopefully 40 years of my life or 20 years of my life or whatever, however long I'm here, year of my life, focused on fear of dying, then I'm going to miss out on a hell of a lot of living. And I'm just not willing to do that. I'm just not willing to do that. You know, I'm at a point now where it's like, I love my life. I have a fantastic husband. I have amazing dogs. I love my house, although it could use a lot of work, but I love it. It's my home, you know. I have a career, if you want to call it that I just wake up every day excited about. What do I get to do today? And, you know, like, reading all the messages and the comments and stuff from you guys is just, like, mind blown. You know, like, sometimes, like, I sit there and I'm like, I'll get, like, a message and somebody will say, like, hi from Australia. And I'm like, this is crazy that anybody in Australia knows who I am and they aren't, like, a pen pal. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. I love what I do. I love it so much, you know? So that's where I, like, don't understand when YouTubers are like, this is like a job like everything else, and they get real defensive about it. I'm like, slow your roll. Like, we're pretty blessed to have this, even if it isn't a real job, you know? And I feel super blessed. So, you know, I just don't want to live in fear and stagnation for the rest of my life and not enjoy the time that I have. Because who knows how long that's going to be? We don't, any of us know how long that's going to be. You know what I mean? So I want to enjoy all the time that I have. I think we all should. Yeah. I don't know. Next step is I gotta get healthy. Where am I at on time? I can't see. 20 minutes and 50 seconds or something. Next thing is I gotta get healthy so I can be here for a while, you know? Anyway, my dad's gonna be 80 this month. That's so crazy to me. I was actually looking at pictures of that Joseph D'Angelo or whatever is Joe D'Angelo. I think that's what his name is. I want to say Joe D'Alessandro, but he was the actor that was in the, what do you call it, those Andy Warhol movies back in the day. Oh, do you guys know what I'm talking about? He was good looking. Anyway, Joseph D'Angelo, I think, is the Golden State Killer, but I was looking at pictures of him, and he's like 73 or 75, and I'm like, my dad looks 10 years younger than him. Like, seriously. It's so weird to me that my dad is going to be 80. My dad will probably be here till he's 120, so, I mean, seriously, he has that kind of health. Anyway, you guys listen, I'm gonna get off here now because Alex is wanting to go to the pool for a little bit tomorrow, and I'm gonna really try to get up. I think the pool would do me some good tomorrow. I think it would be good if I could actually get in the pool. He said he would help me, like, walk inside the gate and then get into the pool. If I can get into the pool, then I can just sit in the pool for an hour or two, you know? So anyway, I'm gonna get off here so I want to go home and watch Golden State Killer, and I want to listen to a little bit of my audiobook on the way home. But thank you guys so much for listening tonight. I really enjoyed this. I miss vlogging late at night, but I have to tell you that I like vlogging earlier because then I get like I have it up and ready to be uploaded, and then like I don't feel rushed, you know, like later at night to do it. Now I will tell you, tomorrow night I'm going to my sponsor's house, and we're gonna sit on her back patio and her fire pit and things like that. We're gonna make lattes. I'm so excited. So anyway, she was at her daughter's house today, and her daughter has like lives on this lake, and it's very cool. But anyway, so tomorrow she and I are gonna hang out. Tanya Jean might be coming, I don't know. She got home tonight. But I made it because Alex has this thing that he's doing tomorrow night. So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna go over to my sponsor's house. Well, I called her and I was like, what are you doing this week? And she's like, come over tomorrow. And I was like, okay, I was gonna ask. She's like, we'll have a fire pit and lattes. She loves to make lattes because she's got that Keurig latte maker, so she's obsessed with it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing tomorrow night. So I'm gonna try to vlog a little bit throughout the day, and then like when I'm driving to her house, because she lives like 25 minutes from me, 20 minutes from me, then I can vlog there and vlog on the way home, and that'll be my vlog tomorrow night. So, yeah, so anyway, yard sale, it says right over there. Anyway, if you guys made it this far in the vlog, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. You guys have cheered me up so much. I just want to say, I don't even know right now what I would be doing if it wasn't for the whole YouTube thing with, I mean, as far as my leg, because like, just all of the kind comments and the suggestions and people sharing their stories, like, it has just been so awesome. You guys are just so awesome, and it has made me like, I don't know, it's made me feel not so all alone going through what, I mean, I know I'm not. I know people have gone through this a million times, but like when you guys have shared your stories or been like, I've been dealing with this since I was 6 or 5, or, you know, this happened to my husband or whatever, I'm like, oh my God, like all the stories are helping. So thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. If you like this vlog, this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and make sure that you're still subscribed to my channel. And all of my channels, because people are getting unsubscribed to my channels, my Peter Monn channel mostly, so make sure that you're still subscribed. And this one they're getting unsubscribed from. And please leave a comment in the comment section below. And if you made it this far, please put a blue heart for the OG Wolf Pack. That's all of us over here just trying to get through life one day at a time. Just trying to be kind and compassionate and putting that out there in the world. And yeah, just trying to get by and pay the rent. Anyway, I hope you guys are having an amazing Saturday, unless you have other plans. But like I always say, don't have other plans. Make the most of your day. Also do something that will make yourself proud when you look back on it. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Make sure that you look at yourself in the mirror every single day and you tell yourself, I love you. And before you go to bed, say it too. And at least one positive affirmation, like you are valuable, or you are talented, or you are beautiful. Something that you need to hear that you will believe. And every night before you go to bed, and every morning when you get up, in the morning say, today, or tomorrow is going to be an amazing day. And when you get up, say, today is going to be an amazing day. I'm going to be happy, joyous, and free all day today. I'm going to sing, I'm going to dance, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to cry if I want to. I'm going to have what did I say? I'm gonna have great opportunities come my way all day today, and positive experiences come my way all day today. I'm gonna hang out with all of my friends and family if I can, or have some time alone if I want to, and I'm gonna read my favorite book and do my favorite things, and if I have to work, I'm gonna try to do so with a smile on my face and do that to the best of my ability, and find all of the things in my life that I am grateful for, and I'm gonna practice gratitude as an action. And if my day starts getting negative and I start falling into negativity or getting, you know, down, I can start my day over whenever I want, just like that. If I start getting sour Susan, I can start my day over whenever I want, just like that. And most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody that it can be whoever you want. Make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Sometimes I think though it's really nice if you reach out to somebody that you think like maybe they really need to hear it. The last couple days I've had so many different people reach out to me and be like, oh my God, I heard that, you know, you hurt yourself. Are you okay? And it's just been really nice to know that like people like care. You know what I mean? Like it means so much. Like especially like people like when they comment, like for all of you that comment, I really appreciate it, but it's like some people have been like, I don't normally comment, but I wanted just to say, you know, and like that is so nice and so fantastic. All of you, I just really appreciate it. So anyway, let's see, is that it? Oh, also, like I always say, practice random acts of kindness, but like I also always say, but don't tell anyone, just do it because it's a nice thing to do, it's the right thing to do. We want to put goodness, kindness, compassion, and love out there in the world. So anyway, to make the world a better place, I like to buy the world a Coke. Do you guys remember that? In something harmony. I don't know the rest of the words. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya! Since I haven't done this for a while, I thought I would give you one more I love you. Cheesy, I know, and corny, but I don't care. That's what I am. Be too much. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.